Are you running this? Are you running this Zoom meeting on your end, James?
No, we have Cody from IT. He's here in the background. He's
Oh, okay.
kind of managing the meeting.
Okay, all right. That's why I was a little confused. All right, let me just get this to the side so I can get the other stuff open. Why is this not? I had the whole folder here. It's not coming up. What the hell? I had it all ready to go. Where did it come? Oh, give me a second. Had everything ready to go. It was all up. It's not in my I canceled it all wrong. I'll hold everything back. The only thing I didn't get, are we on live yet?
Yes.
We're on, we started the meeting, we opened it?
Mhm.
Yep.
Cody started.
No, he started it, but we need to call attendance and kind of do all the typical normal stuff.
Right, the only thing I didn't get was the memorandum I have to sign for this, if we pass the sewer application, so I have to go in and sign it.
Got it.
I can't read it off, I don't know. All right, let's call the meeting to order. It's 6:37. Attendance. Lisa,
Yeah.
yeah. James LeBlanc,
Here.
Hillary,
Here.
Michael Sakosha. Eric Teft, I got a note that is gonna be on the board.
Gonna know that he's not gonna be on the board. Is that what you said?
You have to resign. I got a note today from Ben.
Oh.
No,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
he can't be on the board, so there's gonna be a board opening.
Okay. Good to know.
And I'm here. So we have a quorum, right?
We sure do.
Great. No review of emergency evacuation plans since we're doing this on Zoom. I'd like to make approval of the minutes from December 8th.
I would just like
I'll
to
make
make
a motion.
one
sorry.
change. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hillary.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a first and second discussion.
The only thing I would like to change, Tony, is in members present, it lists my name, but it shouldn't. So my name should just get removed from that section. There is a section that says members absent and it has my name, but I just want to remove my name. That's all. From the present.
Yeah. So
That's
you
it.
weren't there, so you can't vote on it.
Yeah, he's there twice.
Yeah, so I'm there twice in the meeting minutes, so I should show up once under absent, but I did speak to the solicitor about voting on minutes that you're not present. And if a board doesn't have a quorum to vote on the minutes, just because it's more administrative in nature, I can vote just so we can move on.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Good job. All right, so we got a first and second. Any other discussions? Hearing none, let's vote on it by each person. Lisa,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
and myself, yes. So motion moves, passes. Next item, sewer tie-in application for 113 Tyoke Avenue. Is the engineer or the owner around?
Pat Walker's here and Mike Sakosha's here.
Oh, bring Mike in. Where's Michael?
Cody, can you bring them in? And I think the owner is here, Dan.
Bring everybody on.
Let's pack the meat in tonight.
All right, I think we're all here.
Okay, Mike, you there? You got your volume off. You're muted, so I just want to let you know. All right, Pat, you can take it away if you want to tell us what's going on.
Name is Patricia Walker from Walker Engineering Limited. We worked on this project. It's a kind of a unique one. I don't know if you're familiar with the building. It's at 113 Tioga Avenue. It's a 3-story building. The lower level contains 2 units. One is just a storage unit, has no bathroom facilities, and the second unit is a unit 7, which is step in time dance. That user is proposing to move upstairs once all the renovations are done. On the main level are unit 6, which is Northeast Family Martial Arts, and unit 2, the Collective Tattoo Gallery. Unit 7 on the lower level and 2 and 6 are presently tied in to the West Warwick line. It appears from what we could find from information from the town, Bruce, you can add in if you'd like, or from Bob Rose as well, that was connected prior to the town having a sewer line in Tioga. When the line was installed in Tioga back in, I believe, the late 80s, there was no stub provided to this building because they were already connected. Mr. Luzzi did have the existing line cambered, and as it gets closer to the building, it's only about 3.5 feet down. Because it's an existing line and we're bringing the building up to code, we do have to add a sanitary manhole on that. There is a clean out near the roadway, which we're proposing to remove, put a manhole, and up near the building, put a backwater valve and a clean out. That will continue to service the unit 6, 7, and 2. That's all on the west side of the building. On the easterly side, on the upper level, there is a 2-bedroom apartment that is presently connected to what appears as a cesspool out the back. There is, I guess, a partial bathroom, for lack of a better description, in unit 8. When I say partial, there are no toilets. It's just, it was at some point something. And so it is proposed to upgrade that bathroom and also to provide 2 new bathrooms in unit 4. As you can see on the plans, those 2 units, as well as the the residential above the 2-bed apartment, would come out to a new connection that would have to be tied into the main in Tioga Avenue, which is shown on the plans. The locations of everything were determined by survey, by Situate survey. I think that's about it. Each of the connections will come out by themselves, backwater valve, clean out, go into a manhole, and then go out to a clean out at the roadway, and then a tap into the main.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead, James.
Thanks, Mike. Just a question for Bruce. Bruce, do you have any issues with this connection? Are you concerned about anything about the age of the pipes? Anything to consider for us?
No, the pipes are PVC. The main is PVC. So other than the fact you're working in Tioga Avenue, the connection should be fairly simple. Once again, this is a new connection that will have to be installed, within a public roadway. So the applicant will have to pay our contractor to install the service line from the main to the property line. Just kind of similar to what we did at 495 Washington.
And how long do we think that was gonna take us?
So I'm sure they could install the service lateral in one day, and they'll fill it and patch it, and then probably have to come back in 3 months or so to put down the final patch.
Okay, appreciate the insight. Thank you. That's it, Tony, for me.
Bruce, are they, I know it's, but is the state gonna allow them digging through that new road? I know that's not our problem. I did have to get permit for that, but.
Yeah, they'll have to work that out with the state. I'm not sure about that. I know, well, I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a moratorium on that. I'm digging.
Yeah, I don't believe the town ever received a letter from DOT stating that there was a moratorium. So they may not have put that down. They created a moratorium. That was just like a temporary repaving, I think, for that area. I'm not sure. Well, that was for Kent County Water.
Right. Right. I just didn't know if they're gonna allow it, but they might go 50 feet on each side of the patch.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes what they do in this case is they'll make them do a full width restoration.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
I thought I saw Mike trying to say something, but I could be wrong. I saw his square light up.
Who's that?
I was just trying to say that that asphalt that is on that road is an experimental project of what they want to try to do to repair roads. So I don't think that's probably why there's not a moratorium on it. But when they go to apply for their bond and their utility permit, they'll find out.
Yep.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. They're doing enough of it, I'm sure. All right, that's good. I'm good with it. We'll make a vote. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a
I'll make a
motion.
motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a first and second. We'll do individual. James,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Great. Motion passes. I don't have a memorandum to read. Someone's gonna have to get me that from the town, and I can sign it.
Yep, we'll do that.
I'll request, or Bruce, if you could. I was
Yeah.
gonna tap me.
Yep. Yeah, that was an oversight on my part. We're still transitioning from Stephanie moving on.
Yeah,
Position.
No, Stephanie's not here.
I think she was good.
Yep.
All right,
Just
Thank
have
you.
a question. I'm sorry, if I could just ask my question.
absolutely.
Related to tapping into Tioga Avenue. Is that something that Mr. Lucy would contact Bruce about and you would reach out? I assume it's D'Ambra that's doing it, is the contractor for the town?
Right, so we'll send D'Ambra a copy of the plans and ask for an estimate to install the new service lateral. And once we receive that, we'll send that off to you. And then the official permit will not be issued until we receive a check to cover their costs. And then, when D'Ambra does the work, we pay them, using that money.
And they pull the DOT.
They do, they pull the utility permit, they will pull the permit,
Thank you.
They'll know the cost once they meet with the DOT, and they'll know the restoration part of it and everything. They'll let you know from there. All right,
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a
you're
good night.
welcome.
Thanks, Pat.
You guys, more than welcome to stay on, I guess, during the rest of the meeting, or you can leave if you want.
I can't leave.
I don't think there's any other tie-ins, is there, on the agenda?
No,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not sure if we want to keep Bruce on for public comment. I see we have some.
yeah, Bruce can stay, but Pat, the owner, could go if they want.
I can't get out though. I can't sign up. I guess I'll just close it. All right, thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Nope.
You too.
Have a good night, Pat.
Technology. All right, new business. Nomination of electric and new chairperson of the Coventry Sewer Committee, discussion and action. Okay, how do we go about this?
People make a nomination in a second, and then the candidates will make remarks, and then we'll vote from there.
Okay,
I'd like to nominate Jamie for chair.
I'll second that nomination.
we have a first and second.
I'll second it.
Yep, we have a first and second. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
I'll nominate Tony Raposo for chair.
Okay, we have a nomination there.
So typically, how it works is the first person that's nominated has to go through the voting, and if it fails, then typically you go on to the next nomination. But Tony, you're leading the meeting.
Okay, so James, you vote. You wanna vote? Is that how it goes? Go by person.
I mean, that is typically how Robert's rules works.
Okay.
Yep.
This is my first one. So,
No, it's fair. Just throwing it out there, sir.
all right. So you're first, James. You vote. Yes or no?
I do want to just make some comments. That's all, if I could, Tony.
Go ahead.
So, and I appreciate the ability to make the comments. I believe a resident and a taxpayer who does not work for or own a company that makes money putting sewers or doing sewer installations and connecting homeowners and businesses to the very sewer system that this body is recommending should be in a leadership role on this sewer subcommittee. A little bit of background for anybody who's listening to this meeting. I was unfortunately a recipient of a letter that was undated, didn't have a telephone number that I could actually call, didn't even reference the sewer ordinance, which is chapter 191 for anybody listening. Didn't even notify me of my assessment, what the amount would be, the fact that the town was going to put a 6% interest rate on that amount over 20 years. And the town actually gave me that letter 2 months after I had just installed a brand new septic system. And when I asked the person coming up my street who was installing the sewers when I would have to connect, I was told that I would have to destroy my current septic system and connect as soon as the line was completed. I then audited the sewer financial statements, the sewer system's financial statements. Just for anybody listening, I was an auditor for 8.5 years, and I found out that the sewer fund was going bankrupt. We had collateralized our town hall annex building for $1.2 million to fund the sewer system and a sewer debt. The town's financial statements actually didn't disclose the fact that we owed $4.5 million to West Warwick due to the intermunicipal agreement, which is now included in the town's financial statements because I called it out. And most importantly, I had tried working with the town council at the time and the sewer subcommittee at the time to notify them of the financial issues. And I had asked them if they would write a letter to the auditor general to get him involved, and they said, good luck. So I did my own letter. I also worked with Senator Raptakis and the Coventry delegation to pass legislation which forced the town to reduce the interest rate charge from 6% down to 3%. Also did not allow the town to charge paving costs in sewer assessments. So that's just some of the background that I've been able to do over, I would say, the last 5.5 years. The last comment I want to make is that I'm not against the sewer system. What I am for is sewers in the correct places and for affordable sewer assessments, not the 62,000 that my neighbor down the street just got, about a year ago. But if sewers need to go to protect bodies of water, that's great. If the town wants some skin in the game and to make the sewer assessments affordable, that's great as well. So I am not against sewers. I'm just for sensible sewers and cost-effective sewers. So that's my comments that I wanted to make.
Very good. Anybody else? Okay. So let's vote. James, you're
Yes.
first. James LeBlanc.
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Michael?
No.
I vote yes for James. So you have 4 out of 1.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Do I step down and you continue the meeting? No?
Sure. That works. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. The next agenda item is public comments. Cody, I don't know if anybody in any of the attendees wants to speak. I do know we have 3. Anybody who wants to speak at this meeting, if you could please raise your hand.
There's one hand raised. I'm going to bring them in now. It's Mr.
Okay.
Narkowitz.
Thank you, Cody.
On that property, or is that open to the public at that point?
Mr. Narkowitz, if you could please state your name and address, I would really appreciate it.
Narkowitz, Narkiewicz, Jerry, 21 Beach Street, Coventry, Rhode Island.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Narkowitz. If you could share your public comment.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I was going to hear a little bit about COVID money and what's happening with sewers for Lake Tioga. Is there any direction on that?
I can speak to that. The town council did meet, talked about the APRA funds. The town has also sent out, it was a questionnaire to anybody who wanted to click on the link and share their thoughts on how the APRA funds should be spent. One thing I think that you'll appreciate, Mr. Narkowitz, is that I believe out of the 360 plus people who responded, stated it was the third item down on the list, and it was wastewater and sewer infrastructure. So I do know that there is some interest in at least from the public side, that they would like the APRA funds spent on wastewater and that type of infrastructure. But it's not on the agenda tonight, so the sewer subcommittee cannot speak on it.
Okay, but I can still speak on it, correct?
You certainly can.
Excellent. Do you also deal in the agenda of best management practices to protect the lake, or is that just something that is out of the purview of the sewer department or sewer subcommittees? Sorry.
It would be my opinion that the sewer subcommittee would consider that when trying to decide what areas of town the sewer system should be going into.
Okay, excellent. That's about really all. I'm still very concerned that right on the, I'll call it the west side of Lake Tioga, right by the Veterans Market, that there was a sewer line put in to service the building that was the Veterans Market and the 2 apartments that are there. And there was no information put out to the public on where in that section that might have been serviced by low pressure systems to even query whether anybody in that area would be interested. It seems so like it just doesn't seem to make sense to me that we would not have been brought into the picture, so to speak. So I was wondering what the sewer subcommittee had to say on that.
I know you've mentioned this a few times, Mr. Narkowitz. I don't know when that project actually initiated, but I can certainly ask the town manager to kind of get his thoughts. It probably actually predated him as well when that project started. Bruce, I mean, I don't know if you can share any insight into that project, and if you could.
So that project was done prior to Arnold Road being reconstructed.
Okay, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
And that low pressure force main, I wasn't active. I really wasn't sure, how Weston and Sampson or why they put that in there. But obviously it was intended to service, part of that neighborhood. And they only installed it to essentially the market. The market was given a lateral and then the force main ends shortly thereafter. So ultimately it would get extended in a different project. But as to, how the size, the size of the area that they were planning on servicing with that line, I don't know.
Thank you.
But
very
it's there for future use.
What does it mean, future use?
Well, Jerry, it's active and it can be extended.
Okay.
So it can be extended to service, a certain number of homes. The design of that line is before my time, so I'm not sure, how many homes they anticipated to serve using that line, but it's there and it can be used by the town to extend into your neighborhood or into part of that Briar Point neighborhood.
I did a real quick look at the number of houses in the neighborhood and the length of the road that would require the piping. And I didn't consider, some places where you wouldn't have to run the laterals all the way to the end of the property. I just looked at road lengths very quickly, and it looked like for that whole neighborhood, this side of the small stream that crosses Arnold Road, that it looked like there would be somewhere about 5,000 linear feet. And it looked like there's somewhere about 55 or 60 homes. And I just did it quickly. I don't have exact numbers. I'm sure Weston and Sampson has more valid numbers on the length of roads and things like that. And do you know if that force main is sized to handle that whole area, or is it just designed for a few spots? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I can only, make a guess at it, but I would anticipate it could maybe serve up to 40 homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you look at that and you think, well, I don't know what the cost is to put a low pressure system in. And I realize each house would have to have an E1 style pump or some low pressure pump system. And I know other towns have those all over the place. I know Coventry is more resistant to doing that, although it appears to be a good solution to a very flat section of sandy soil with an extremely high water table. So it would indicate to me that would be a really good look-see, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, they're easy systems to build. It's, there's a little bit more burden put on the homeowner to have the pump system installed and maintain the pump.
Right.
And then when you lose power, you really need an emergency generator probably to run that pump for if the power is lost for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
But
that's always a dilemma because most people can't afford a power pack like that. But
yeah,
there are power packs coming online that are electrical that could run them for a decent amount of time, that are pretty simple.
Right. So they have, say, 70 gallons or so of emergency storage. So they, you don't need to run it full time. You can turn it on, every few hours.
And I also think that the pump is 220. I think it's 30 amps. It may only be 20. So that's 6,000 watts. That's not a lot of juice to run things.
No, they're pretty efficient pumps. Yep.
So it would seem like a really reasonable place for the sewer subcommittee to go, and environmentally it for sure, if it's not the highest area of density as well as high water table on the lake. There's only one area that might be higher, and that would be going up the hill towards center of New England on the left-hand side, but that's a smaller area and much more modern houses. These houses in this section, these 50 or so houses, are fairly old. I don't know how many still have cesspools, but a cesspool is just sitting right in the water table. So, I would imagine almost every single location on this part of the lake has no more than a 3 or 4 foot water table at best.
Yep. Yeah, so I think this fall, the DPW had Fuss O'Neill do some monitoring within the lake,
Yeah.
to measure the fecal coliform levels. And
Have you also done that already, Bruce?
I think that part of it's done. And I know like late December, they were going out and looking for illicit discharges, cesspool overflows. So I think a lot of the field work is done, but so we're probably just waiting for the report, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's complex for sure.
Yep.
The Envirothon with the town did a lot of research on it. We found that it wasn't really point discharges. It was mostly just generically across the entire lake, what we were looking at.
Yeah.
More indicative of septic system failure.
Yeah.
than,
Yeah, with that sandy soil, the water moves quite a bit, so.
Right.
So Mr. Narcoitz, I will certainly talk to the town manager about potentially adding an agenda item for potential areas going forward. But we first need to, the town council, in my opinion, first needs to figure out how the APRA funds should be spent.
Excellent. Can you try to keep me on board or?
Certainly. I believe I have your email, sir.
Yeah,
I can keep you in the loop too, Jerry.
thank you, Hillary. I appreciate it. I wish you all a wonderful evening. Stay safe.
You as well. Thank you for your comment.
You're welcome. Bye.
Cody, is there anybody else or it looks like there's 3 attendees. Anybody else watching the video want to make a public comment? No hands raised. I think we are all set with public comment. If somebody could make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a subcommittee.
Oh, sorry, absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
Just wanted to talk about Sandy Bottom Bridge project with Bruce.
Oh,
How that's moving along, if the consulting firm's been checking with the seismonics and vibrations of our pipe.
Right, so they did the second pre-construction survey a few weeks ago. And, we haven't heard anything from DOT since then. So I suspect, the engineers want to get that report, take a look at it, and then finalize, their monitoring plan. But as of now, we're still waiting to hear back from them.
Are they doing any vibration? Are they doing any work there with
No,
or anything right now?
no.
So they're shut down for the winter, or are they just?
I believe so. They're shut down for the winter, yeah.
Just keep us posted on that as much as you can, or once they start up again.
Yep.
Damage to that line.
Yep.
That's all I had, Jamie.
Thank you, Tony. Anybody else on the subcommittee have any comments? Hearing none. If we could have that motion to adjourn.
I make a
Motion to adjourn.
Tony, you second?
I second.
Vote. Tony,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Mike? Mike,
Can you hear me? Yes.
perfect. All right, great. Yes for me. Meeting adjourned at 7:09 PM. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Night.
Night.